All right, what up, guys? I wanted to do something a little different today, and I wanted to talk about the €1 homes. Now, you've probably seen something about the €1 homes before, but if not, let's go over a little bit about what they are, if they are a good investment, and what I would suggest as a different alternative. But basically, a €1 home. This became popular in Italy, but it is available in other areas around Europe. Basically, they would be homes that were abandoned, and the cities where these homes were abandoned want to begin bringing more people into the cities. These are older. Generally speaking, these are cities that have an aging population. A lot of the younger people probably moved away to go live in newer cities, and so the population is getting smaller, the population is getting older, and in an attempt to expand the population, bring more people in, these abandoned properties are being sold for as low as €1. Now, that's kind of the basics of it. So now, is there a catch? €1, like, you're basically getting it for free? Is that really a thing, or is it like, what's the catch? Now, there's not exactly a catch. I say exactly. But now every city is going to be different. So if this is something you are interested in, you have to keep in mind every city is going to be a little different with this. But there is generally kind of like a down security deposit. Usually you're averaging around €5,000, but it could fluctuate. And you pay this up front when you take control of the home, and you will get that money back as long as the home is habitable by like a specified like end date. Usually you have, I don't know, a couple years, maybe 3 years. It depends. Again, it's going to depend on the city, but as long as it's habitable by this particular time, then you'll get the money back. Now, and again, each city will have a couple other requirements. Some mandate that you live in the home while it's being renovated. Some will only do the €1 cheap homes if you're coming with your family, as in like children. Because they want to bring in more families, they want to bring in more kids, they want to, build up the population again. It's different. I don't see that as frequently now, but the requiring you to at least stay for half the year, that is something that you have to look into, because if a lot of these €1 homes are not habitable when you buy it, and we'll get into that in just a second. So, but anyways, so there's not really a catch. As long as you're able to renovate the home within like a couple years, you'll be able to get it back. Now, one of the reasons why they might have you stay is they don't want one person just buying up a dozen of these things and then leaving. That kind of defeats the purpose of them trying to bring more people in and bring more money in, and maybe vacationers or whatever. If someone just buys all of them and leaves, that doesn't really do them any good. So you're going to have to most likely stay while it's being renovated. But again, it's kind of a city-by-city basis for that. As I was saying, there is a better option. So when you buy these €1 homes, they are generally not in good condition. I have not seen any of late that are habitable at the €1 price point. A lot of them have been abandoned for decades, if not longer. Now, like if we focus on Italy specifically, a lot of these homes are built of stone, so the structure is generally speaking more solid. It's not of wood, so it's not just completely like collapsing everything, but you are going to probably deal with like clay collapsed roofs. You're going to find stairwells or staircases that you got to be completely cleaned out. Like you're almost starting from scratch minus the walls and the floor. So there's a lot of work with that. Now, if you're in a great location and you just, love kind of the bones of the place, by all means, the €1 home. But the better option is generally to look for a home that's going to cost like 20,000 euro. Now, it's a big step up, but a lot of these 20,000 euro homes are already habitable. You can move in and live in it right out of the gate. Now, they still need extreme renovations, but at least you can actually live in the home and work, room to room to room to room. That way, if there is a requirement of you have to stay there while it's being renovated, you can be, like, you don't have to find a hotel room. You don't have to pay extra to live someplace else. You can stay in that room, in that house as it's being renovated, which does make it easier because realistically, you can and probably should work with local contractors now because you have the building's most likely going to be made out of stone. You want somebody that understands how to work with that particular stone and that setup. And oftentimes there are historical requirements that you got to abide by, and so you need somebody that knows those kind of regulations and requirements. So you're going to want to work with somebody in the area, and it's easier if you live in the area to deal with that. And so if you're not there and they can't ask you questions, that can completely delay your construction projects, and then you might not get you might not get your deposit back because it just kept on getting delayed because you were never around. So 20 grand, you can already live in it. You can, as you're bringing contractors in, you can work on parts that you feel confident in, handling. And even though you spend more up front, it'll save you a lot in the end. You will be probably a good year ahead in the renovation process. You might not actually even have to pay a security or down payment, a down deposit on this because it is already habitable. So that's just something to consider. If you have been looking at the €1 homes, maybe not go for the €1 homes, but go for the ones that are like 10 to 20,000 euro. That's always, in the end, it's going to save you a lot of money and a lot of headache, probably more importantly. Now, it is also important to point out that you are not in the United States anymore. And whenever it comes to buying any kind of property overseas, anywhere, make sure you do your research because there's a lot of things that go on that wouldn't necessarily happen in the United States. And we already went over, why some of these properties are abandoned and, young kids moving away and, aging population. In a different video, I'll get into various specifics that you want to look for if you are interested in buying something like this, because there are some very specific things you need to look out for that keep you from getting into some problems. But if doing one of these projects, it's going to be slower. Working with a local contractor is going to be slower. Again, you're not also going to have access to like a Home Depot right there. It's going to take a little longer to bring products in. You have essentially a siesta built into the day, so there are kind of like there's nap time built in, so you probably won't get as much done during the day. And there are times during the year where contractors will just go on holiday for like 6 weeks. And so there'll be times of the year that you just can't do anything. Unless you can do it yourself. And so it's just really, if you're looking at buying anything overseas, whether it's Italy, whether you want to buy one of the affordable homes that's being sold in Japan, that's kind of a newer thing. It's a different process. So research, and don't get super frustrated if it falls behind schedule, because it probably will. Heck, the Italian digital nomad visa took 2 extra years to pass. So it's just how it goes. But I like talking about these €1 homes. I have other videos I'll make. I've written a few topics, articles about, shopping for them. And we'll get into that a little more in some future videos. But anyways, for myself, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I will just catch you guys later. See ya.